Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. MD Shohag Dewan here. Today, we re-diving deep into a fascinating topic from international relations, the different types of states that make up our world. It's a key part of understanding interstate relations, diplomacy, and global politics. So, grab your notebooks and let's get started. First up, the mysterious deep state. Have you ever heard this term? It refers to a hidden network of power, often within the military or intelligence agencies, that secretly influences a country's politics from behind the scenes. Think of it as the power behind the throne. Countries like Pakistan and Turkey are often cited as examples where a deep state is believed to wield significant influence. Next, we have the satellite state. This isn't about space. A satellite state is a country that is formally independent, but is heavily controlled, either politically or militarily, by a much stronger nation. A classic historical example is Poland during the Cold War, which was under the influence of the Soviet Union. Then there's the quasi-state. This is a tricky one. A quasi-state is a region that acts like an independent country, has its own government, provides services, and manages its territory, but it lacks full international recognition from other countries. Taiwan and Kosovo are prominent examples. They function as states, but their sovereign status is a major point of contention on the world stage. Now, let's talk about size. A small state is pretty straightforward. A country with a small territory, a limited population, and consequently less influence on global affairs. Think of beautiful nations like Bhutan or the Maldives. On the flip side, we have big states. These are the global heavyweights, large, powerful countries with huge populations and vast resources that give them significant global clout. The USA, China, and India are perfect examples of big states that shape international politics. Ever heard of a buffer state? It's a country strategically located between two larger, often rival, powers. Its purpose is to act as a neutral zone to reduce the chances of direct conflict between them. Nepal, situated between India and China, and historically, Afghanistan, between the British and Russian empires, have played this role. Sadly, not all states succeed. A failed state is a country where the government has lost control. It can no longer provide basic services like security, healthcare, or education, and law and order have broken down. Somalia and South Sudan have unfortunately faced these immense challenges, illustrating what happens when state structures collapse. Now, let's discuss development terminology. The term Third World State originated during the Cold War to describe countries not aligned with either the US or the Soviet Union. Today, it generally refers to developing nations with lower incomes and less industrialization. Countries like Bangladesh, India, and Nigeria are often included in this category as they continue to grow their economies. A step beyond that is the Fourth World State. This term is used to describe the world's most economically disadvantaged and least developed countries. These nations face extreme poverty and significant structural challenges. Haiti and Somalia are often cited as examples. On a more positive note, we have the welfare state. A welfare state is a country where the government takes active responsibility for the social and economic well-being of its citizens. It provides comprehensive support systems, including public health care, education, and social security. The United Kingdom and Sweden are famous for their robust welfare systems. Now, for a more controversial category, the rogue state. This is a term used often by Western powers to describe a state that is seen as a threat to world peace. These countries are accused of breaking international law, supporting terrorism, or seeking weapons of mass destruction. North Korea and Iran are frequently labeled as rogue states by certain international actors. Closely related to the quasi-state is the de facto state. De facto means in fact or in practice. So, a de facto state exists and operates as a real country on the ground. But it isn't officially recognized by other nations. It lacks de jure recognition. Northern Cyprus and, again, Taiwan are excellent examples of entities that have de facto sovereignty. Let's take a trip back in history with the Dominion state. This term refers to the former self-governing territories of the British Empire. While they were part of the empire, they had a high degree of internal autonomy. Canada and Australia started as dominions before becoming fully independent nations. Another historical and administrative category is the trustee state, or trust territory. This was a territory administered by another country or by the United Nations for a temporary period, usually to help it prepare for self-governance or independence. Palau, which was administered by the US and East Timor before its independence, are examples. Similar to a satellite state, we have the vassal state. This is a historical term for a state that is dependent on a stronger, superior power. The vassal state has to pay tribute or provide military support to the dominant state in exchange for a degree of autonomy and protection. The relationship of Tibet with China is sometimes described in these terms. Now, let's talk about political systems. A democratic state is one where the people hold the power. Citizens elect their leaders through free and fair elections, and fundamental rights are protected. India, the world's largest democracy, and the USA are leading examples. Next, the secular state. This is a state that maintains a formal separation between religious institutions and governmental affairs. The government does not endorse any particular religion, and citizens are free to practice any faith or none at all. India and France are prominent secular states, although they implement secularism in very different ways. In contrast, an Islamic state is a country governed by Islamic law, or Sharia. In these states, religion is not separate from the state. Rather, it is the foundation of the legal and political system. Saudi Arabia and Iran are key examples of modern Islamic states. You might also hear the term South State or Global South. This is a more modern term that has replaced Third World in many contexts. It refers to the economically developing nations, many of which are located in the Southern Hemisphere. It's a broad category that includes countries like Somalia and South Sudan, but also emerging economies across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Here's a colorful one, the Banana Republic. This is a somewhat derogatory term for a politically unstable and economically weak country that is highly dependent on a single export, like bananas or coffee, and is often dominated by foreign corporations or powers. Historically, countries like Honduras and Guatemala were given this label. Finally, a very specific example, the Fifth Republic. This isn't a general type of state, but refers to the current political system of France, which was established by Charles de Gaulle in 1958. So, when you hear Fifth Republic, you know people are talking specifically about modern France. And there you have it, a whirlwind tour of 21 different types of states in international relations. From the powerful to the fragile, the recognized to the unrecognized. Each of these classifications helps us better understand the complex tapestry of our global political landscape. I hope you found this discussion helpful and interesting. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment with your thoughts or any questions you might have, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.